Hey guys, I have no idea what's going on with Adobe, so I apologize if this is a really weird angle. I tried to fix it, but I couldn't. But anyway, I'm now graduated. I would honestly never do that experience again, but I'm gonna have to for college. I'm going to two separate colleges, so I'm gonna have to do this 3 times already. One high school, two colleges. Well, I don't know, cause I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just say that. In my opinion, the last day of school was more hard than graduation. There were definitely more tears on the last day. I'm not saying there weren't a bunch of tears on graduation, which there was, but I'm just saying it wasn't as intense as it was my last day of school. And I did get my wish. As we were walking towards the gym in our cap and gowns, all the teachers stood in the hallway. It wasn't a massive amount of teachers either. Stood in the hallway with their black cap or their gowns, their black gowns, and started clapping for us. That part, I started just crying my eyes out. As you guys know, on the last day of school. But surprisingly, I didn't cry during this one. I have no idea why. I thought I would totally be crying, but I mean, I guess I experienced the worst part of it my last day of school. As I was walking down those hallways with the teachers clapping and stuff, that brought so many flashbacks from just the last day of school and how hard I cried. The feeling was so weird. Anyway, today's the last day of school for non-seniors, by the way. So congrats, non-seniors. You made it to the next grade without dying from homework and such. Anyway, in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing some of my favorite moments and memories from the second semester of high school. I did this with the first semester. So yeah. This one time when I was student helping for DAPE, this lower functioning special needs student sat next to me while we were playing this game in the gym. Or we weren't in the gym, we were playing a game in the wrestling room, with a mat and a bunch of other stuff, if you don't know what that is. Anyway, I was sitting next to him, and he was cuddling my arm, and stuff like that. If you don't know, people with special needs show compassion differently. You probably know this by watching my last semester as a senior 2026 video. But they do, And that was the cutest thing ever because he did that for like almost the whole entire game. This one time I was in their classroom and this boy was getting ready to fall asleep on a beanbag because he was tired. And his teacher walked by and was like, he really loves it when you rub his neck. So I was rubbing his neck, and he started to actually fall asleep. I was in that classroom again, and this boy, who I keep mentioning, was drawing on the smartboard because there was a drawing page thing on there. And I came over to the board where he was at, and he grabbed my arm and put it up against the board and started drawing with my arm. On the last day of school, I went into Mr. F's classroom and told him that I wanted him to meet somebody. It was that kid again, because I have sent a picture of me and him together to him because I mentioned him a while ago to Mr. F. And so I introduced that kid to Mr. F. So here's the story how I mentioned him a while ago to Mr. F. So, and this is my favorite memories too, by the way. So I'm not just telling the story to give a backstory. It's actually one of my favorite memories too. So when I was in one of the astronomy club meetings at the high school, my very last one actually, we were talking about Project Hail Mary and how what we liked about it. So I just raised my hand, which I don't know where I got the confidence to do that, but I raised my hand and Mr. F called on me, and I was like, I like the part where Rocky, the alien, was tapping on his ball, his kind of like hamster wheel or a hamster ball thing, and the middle school teacher, was tapping with him, and he thought he was just being funny while the alien was actually pointing at something. And I told him that reminded me of that time when that kid, that special needs kid, was knocking on the table to get a parent's attention. And I thought he was just being silly, so I was doing it back to him. But little did I know he was getting someone's attention. Before school one morning, I walked into Mr. F's classroom, and I was so proud of myself that I had to show him what I learned in sign language. I learned my name, by the way. I didn't think I could ever fingerspell, but I did, and I learned it in just one night from an app on my phone. So I was showing him that, because again, I was very proud of it. And yeah, then I got to show him what other signs I knew, which was not very many, but it was still sign language. One morning before school, I walked into Mr. F's classroom, and this was around the time I wrote my senior quote was in our school's newsletter thing, and my quote said, how lucky I am to have something saying goodbye is so hard, whatever. And I was telling him, I made a video, saying something as a quote, but I didn't mean it as a quote. And, Sahara made a thing out of it, and it said, I had room to improve, and I did. And I told him that I was gonna actually use that quote, because I quoted it. It was unique. So during graduation, I was sitting there because I was in the first row, so I was like the first to graduate and walk across the stage. I know it was anxiety inducing, but at least my anxiety wasn't very much because I was the first to walk. But as I was sitting there, I looked over, and in the second row was another special needs student and a para sitting next to each other, and the special needs student was yelling very faintly, "Sarah," but it was in like a musical tone. But he was and he was yelling that for the third time until the para shushed him. Yeah, it was really funny. I was at a dinner and dance at one of our local restaurants with all the seniors, and we were just finishing up eating, and the music started going, but nobody was dancing yet. So this one special needs student that was at graduation that I thought was funny, he got up and started dancing and actually led all the seniors to the dance floor. During lunch, we were all in the cafeteria, and I usually sit by the lower functioning special needs students because, I want to be a para. I want to be trained before I actually get my para license and practice at the college that I'm going to, which is Iowa University, baby. Anyway, I was in the lunchroom, and the special needs kid that was at graduation, was yelling Sarah a bunch of times, and I was like, who the heck is Sarah? So a little backstory, special needs students usually script things off of TV shows, movies, whatever. It's just a thing they do. So that's why he was yelling Sarah, because he was watching something that was yelling. Some character was yelling Sarah a bunch of times. When I was walking at the school I didn't go to, you guys know, I made a video just recently about this, but about that teacher who gave me a high five and didn't even know me, and I didn't even know her. I have so many more memories to share that that are my favorite, but I don't have the room in my phone Oh my gosh, my voice cracked. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have the room in my phone to probably keep going with memories, but just know I have a lot more in there. Like I said, in my first semester making this video. So yeah, just know I have more. Bye guys.